Well, what do we have here? Well, we have vintage new old stock Bassbuster action tail lures, like these whale tails. This week on Angling Archaeology, we're gonna tell the tale of these crazy little tails. So when you think Bassbusters, what comes to mind? Well, you might be thinking about the original marabou jig, but you're likely thinking of two different lures. That being A, the beetle, and B, the beetle spin. One of the most popular and highly effective downsized finesse style spinnerbaits ever made. This thing catches literally everything. But today we're not going to talk about that. Today we're going to talk about the Action Tail series. Before we jump into the Action Tail series, let's show you what the 1987 offering for Bassbuster was. So as you can see right here, prominently displayed, we have the beetles, we have the beetle spin, and then we have what's over here. This is the super beetle. This is new for 1987, and you can see that right there. And obviously the beetle and the beetle spin have been around much longer than before 1987. I'm only showing you these ads because they match the style of the card that we're going to be talking about today. So the difference between the super beetle right here, you see it's a willow leaf blade. And it's a little forged or hammered, if you will. Just a very nice little downsize option. There's also, and it's not here in this catalog, but there's the frog and spin as well too. So you have that. But let's jump into the Action Tail series from Bassbuster. So let's think about Bassbuster lures for a second. So Virgil Ward really created a highly effective jig and has really evolved from that. So in the beginning, we start to see things like feather for the marabou jig, or the hair raiser that had more of a hair tail, or the spider spin where we adapt a spinner into the jig. Well, he's also evolved into using soft plastics where we have the beetle, and then we have the beetle spin and the super beetle and the frog and spin, so on and so forth. Well, as we move in to 1988, it only makes sense that he continues to evolve. And this is where we start to see the tail series, or as we'll see here in just a little bit, the Action Tails. And no shock there, because companies today are still improving on finesse style lures. For example, Z-Man's TRD, which is essentially a Ned rig. Well, they have the craws now and the bugs. So it just makes sense that Bassbuster would do the same type of thing, 30 years before. So we have the Crazy Tails right here. Here's an example of what this would have looked like. So as we see here in the catalog, new for 1988. And they're showing it here. And this is rigged up just like you would a beetle spin or whatever else, and it has the different colors and varieties. And we have a few different options. This particular one right here does not have the spinner, but what they did, which was genius, is the pack came together with everything you need. You got the lures, you've got the hook, and then this cartoon on the side, it was supposed to show you what the action was gonna look like in the water. We'll show you that with some other examples here in just one second. They also had directions on the back of how to use the lure. Bassbuster did a great job of this is your one-stop shop. This is kind of a micro tackle box. And then what you could do, you could individually cut these out. We'll show you how to do that here in just one second. But here you get to see for $1.29, new for 1988, we have the Crazy Tails. And really the beetle spin is kind of what we've known to love and appreciate. It's just the two-legged grub that catches everything. I think it's cool that they made a whole new round of offerings of different lures. And so we're starting off here with the Crazy Tail. This is for 1988. So let's fast forward to 1991, where we see this layout from the Bassbusters catalog. And we see the entire line of tail series right here. And first and foremost, undeniably late 80s, early 90s. Look at the hyper color and the font on this packaging. You gotta love it, folks. You gotta love it. So let's take a real quick look at all four they have here. First, starting off with brand new for 1991, the whale tails. The natural swimming action attracts fish and triggers more strikes. The whale-like tail waves with each jerk of the line. Now, this initial series came right here with two lures, and it also had the jig head right there, but then we also have an option a little bit later on with three, and I'll show you that here in 1 second. But it came in yellow, white, pink, chartreuse, and all with a red dot. Next, we have the Twinkle Tails. And so this one says that it catches the light to catch more fish. And if you ever seen those Christmas trees, those aluminum Christmas trees from the 1960s, these tails really remind me of that. And I'll show you that in person here in 1 second. But multiple metallic strips twinkle, flicker, and sparkle to attract fish. Comes in 3 different colors, 4 sizes in all, 1/32 ounce to 1/4 ounce. Next, we have the sizzle tails. The pulsating action that drives fish wild. The marabou-like tail twitches with every lure movement. Now, also comes in 3 colors, and the combinations are 4 sizes from 1/32 ounce to 1/4 ounce. And you'll see this too, this really does mimic kind of the original Bassbuster marabou jig, but more just a plastic version. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in 1 second. So it goes back to what I said about the evolving of the lures. And then finally we have the crazy tails, and we just talked about that. That came out in 1988. Says they have 6 different color combinations and sizes from 1/32 to 1/4 ounce as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. All right, we're going to start with the last lure and then move backwards to the first lure, which was the whale tails. And we're going to start off here. We've got this 1988 packaging right here of the Bassbuster Crazy Tail, but we're going to look at the 1991 updated packaging of the Crazy Tails right here. And as you can see right away, undeniably, late 80s, early 90s, the hyper color, the font, even the lure color itself, just how vibrant that is, it's fantastic. And what I like most about these lures is, let's take a look at the back of the package here. Not only is the animation fantastic, showing you how to rig this lure, it's also very smart in the packaging and the way that they did this. It's saying just cut one out one at a time. If you can see that right there, I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see that. Because if you were to take all these out and put them in your tackle box, honestly, they probably all melt together, so it's probably smarter to keep them new on card. Heck, these are over 30 some odd years old, and they're still good as new in the package. So it's saying, hey, just cut out what you need, put this thing back in your tackle box, and you're good to go. So that's the Crazy Tail right there. Next, we're gonna look at the Sizzle Tail. Now, the Sizzle Tail is what they were calling the marabou-like tail. And so when I said this is a plastic version, that's basically got the plastic body, but then you have the fuzz of the marabou down below. And you can see right here, just like on the graphics, it shows kind of the action in the water that you would get from that fuzz right there. So if you're not familiar with what the marabou jig was, this is the original Bassbuster Fiber Guard marabou jig. And so Fiber Guard meaning that Virtual Ward actually came up with the weed guard right there. So there's other videos I talk about that. But this right here will give you an example of what that would have looked like. And you can see that kind of fuzz right there, the feather. That's what this is trying to mimic right there. So there you have it. I mean, really inventive stuff. Next, we've got the twinkle tails. And as I was mentioning before, this just looks like an old school 1960s aluminum Christmas tree. And it really does. We'll see if I can zoom in on that. I wish I had more of these. This is the only pack I have of these, or else I would 100% fish this. I just think this is a really neat, cool design. Surprised people aren't doing this more today, especially for crappie. You know, I feel like crappie would tend to go for something like that. But again, very smart. Talks about how it's fished. You know, take one off the card. But there's that. And then, last but not least, we have the whale tail. So if you saw in the ad right there, it just showed the 2-pack, which would have been this exact pack right here. So this is the whale tail. And really, this mimics a craw, okay? Like a craw standing up, like it's like, oof, it's on high alert. And I'm surprised they don't mention that, but they just call it the whale tail. But we'll show you some water stuff where you can see what I'm talking about there. So we have 2 different, we have the larger, and then we have a downsized three-piece with your jig right there. And then look at this, just still, again, back of the card, shows you how to rig it up, how to cut it out. Very cool. Speaking of, why don't I just show you how to rig these up? All right, let's go ahead and show you how to rig this thing up. And really, this is Fishing 101, folks. Very simple, very easy. Let's say you're graduating from worm and bobber and want to move into soft plastic lures. This is the way to do it. This is the perfect rig if you're just learning, if you're teaching a kid how to fish. Super, super simple. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this more than 30-year-old pack of whale tails. And so we'll start by getting this jig head out of here. So So here you have it. A very simple, rounded jig head like so. And you can see this plastic is well over 30 years old, so it's stuck on there very good. There we go. So there you have it. Just a nice round jig head right there. So on the back of the package right here, it says to use a knife and to just cut those off. Probably be easier that way, but we've already got started right here by taking that out. Now, if you have the twinkle tails, the sizzle tails, or the crazy tails, be careful when cutting this out of the plastic because some of those tentacles can be stuck together and can probably break in here. With the whale tails, probably not so much. So you'll be all right. So we'll just kind of go ahead and just loosen that up a little bit so we can get this out and about. I'm ready to fish. And there you have it. Just a really nice little soft plastic right there. So you would rig this up like you would any kind of finesse style. So we're going to just line it up like this. You want this hook to come out right where the beginning of the tail is, so somewhere probably around right there. And I also like to make sure that any kind of markings that you want exposed or seen are on this side right here. So we'll go ahead without further ado and put this in like so. Very easy, folks. So simple that even a guy from Angling Archaeology can do it. Now, I've said that joke before. It wasn't funny the first time. It's not funny this time. All right, here we go. And there you have it. Just as simple as that. That's all you have to do. That is it. And you are ready to fish. So as this is in the water, it'll go around like this. And you basically let that tail do all the work. I mean, this looks like a craw that's in distress. It's on high alert. It's like, whoa, choppers up. What's going on here? That's what that's going to look like. And so when it's in the water, you'll see it kind of flutter. You let that tail just flap around and do everything. That's what's going to cause that reaction strike. Another option you have is you can rig this up like a beetle spin. So we have these crazy tail. We have this crazy tail rigged up like a beetle spin right here. So we're going to fish both of these and see which one catches more fish, or if they both work. I'm sure they both will work. These are downsized finesse. These will work in any kind of application. If it's hot, if it's cold, if the water's stained, if the water's too clear, I just feel like finesse just always seems to work. What you can do with this is you can just reel this in simply like it's a spinnerbait. You can bounce this around like you would with the jig, or you can also kind of just go over rocks and cover and things like that. The beetle spin is a very versatile lure, but here you have it. So I think the next thing we got to do is go find a fish. All right, so let's check out the action in the water. We put this in here, and this is really like any other kind of finesse style worm. And it sits straight up just like a crawfish. So this whale tail is really kind of mimicking a craw pattern right there. But as we move this around, we'll start to see little bluegill actually coming up and exploring it. We already got a bluegill kind of exploring what's going on here. He's checking that thing out. He's like, what is this? Stand straight up, just like you would with any kind of other small, downsized finesse style worm. So you can check out the movement in that water right there. I mean, it's got good fluttering action. It's a pretty nice little finesse lure. All right, so the conditions today are perfect for the beetle spin. You got a little bit of wind, a little bit of movement in the water, partly cloudy. I mean, this is really ideal for this lure right here. Now, this you're running into now is, I've seen probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 turtles. So hopefully they didn't eat the fish, I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't know what they're doing out there. But I've got a couple little strikes on this, only thrown it out a few times. But I'm pretty confident that this will catch something. I mean, this is literally the best lure to use in these type of conditions right now. So just kind of figuring out if they like that neon green, and I think they will. Oh, actually, I just got a strike just now as I was talking. Or if they wanted a little different color, but these must be super small fish. Yeah, so you can see that they're ticking at it right now. Flip-flops were a good choice. Nice. Oh well. Oh, right away. First cast. Yep, I knew that would work. There you have it. Here it is. Not exactly setting any state records with this one, but I'll tell you, these lures will catch anything. So literally, the first cast, we caught a bass with the beetle spin. The perfect lure for beginners. This is your gateway lure, folks. This is what's going to get you hooked on fishing. What did I do here? Oh. What is going on here? What in the heck? Oh no, what a mess. I don't even know where the beetle spin is now. Oh, that's gonna do it. All right, I just royally messed up the line, scared off all the school of fish, but beetle spin for the win. And I'm gonna try these pink ones again for crappie. I think that's gonna be the ticket. I might make another video just going crappie fishing with these as well. Well, swing and a miss with the whale tail, but you know what? I didn't really give it a fair shake. I mean, I only fished for 30 minutes. I fished a beetle spin about 90% of the time and didn't really give this the opportunity to shine. But I really think this would be the perfect crappie rig. Just downsize the action, the color, and why not even jazz it up even more by making a double rig out of it. So just like if you're fly fishing, you have a hopper dropper or a double midge or whatever else, people have been doing double rigs with crappie forever. And I think this would be the perfect way to do it. Now, generally, I think most people, at least when you're fly fishing, you have a little heavier weight right here, and then you have the lighter weight on the end right there. But I think we're just gonna do both the same weights because I want it to have the same slow action sinking. And so, you know, I want the crappie to fight for these things. You know, I think that's gonna be the ticket. So we're gonna make another video, a follow-up video, fishing exclusively for crappie using the downsized whale tail. And I think we're gonna have some pretty good luck. So before we end this video, I wanted to show you the original Bassbuster lure manufacturer. So this is actually the second building right here across the street from McBee's world famous sausage right there. But this right here would have been their next building. So let's go ahead and go downtown. I'll show you where the original Virgil Ward building is. All right, so we're approaching downtown Amsterdam, Missouri right here. If you don't know where that is, it's basically on the Kansas-Missouri border. And this building right here, this Amsterdam store right there, was the original Bassbuster lure company, Virgil Ward's company right there. So we'll zoom out. Nice, just get my hand in there. We'll drive back by. There we go. There's the original Bassbuster lure shop. Smooth operator over here with the incredible camera work. You know, for me, it's all about the attention to detail, right? So anyways, it's a neat little town, pretty cool piece of fishing lure history. So I thought you guys might want to see that. So if you like what you saw in today's video, go check out Angling Archaeology eBay. I'll have the link down below, and you can find all these action tails for sale right now. And best part is, drum roll please, they're all $1.99 each. $1.99 each. Consider it the Angling Archaeology value menu, except for you can't even buy a cheeseburger anymore for under $2, but you can buy vintage, new, old stock, in package lures from the late 80s, early 90s, all for under $2. Check that out. And hey, it's gonna help out the channel a little bit as well too. And speaking of helping out the channel, go check out the merch store. The link's down below as well too. You can get some sweet shirts like this. I got hats, and you can pick any color you want. I mean, they're made to order basically. And I said we'll be doing another giveaway. I have tons of extra ones from the video that I didn't use. They're all still on card. I'm gonna give these away absolutely for free. All you need to do is like, subscribe, and comment down below what's your favorite finesse lure. It can be anything. It can be the Ned. Is it Z-Man? Is it a Bassbuster? You tell me. You write that down below. What's your favorite finesse? If you're downsizing, go a little slower. What is that? And we have 3 packs right here, but I think I have like 6 or 7 packs. And I'll pick the winner June 1st. I'll put that on my Instagram. We'll do it randomly, just like we did with the last one. And then I'll also announce it on one of the videos as well too, so you guys know who the winner is. And I will ship all that out free of charge just for liking the channel. And hey, you can get some old school free soft plastics for doing nothing more than just boop, 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 boop. So type down below, what's your favorite finesse? Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Angling Archaeology, where we unearth the good old days. I wanna thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing. And if you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out quite a bit. So until next time, folks, we'll see you out on the water. Thanks for watching Angling Archaeology, where we unearth the good old days. Don't forget to like and subscribe.